Well, good afternoon. I'm sorry I am really late today. I don't know what time it is. Nearly 4 o'clock, I suppose. We're coming on nearly 4 o'clock. I've been really busy today. Bits and pieces to do and, well, get things sorted out. But we've had a nice weekend. Nice and dry, really. And gone colder, but then, that don't matter. Keep us on our toes a bit. I hope everybody's all right. And I want to say thank you again to those that contributed to the breast cancer the thing that I'd had, for my birthday. Like you see, we raised £304. So that's gone to a good cause, isn't it? Thank everybody anyhow for all your kind thoughts and wishes. That's all over with now. Anyhow, just take care. Stay safe. It'll be all right. It'll be fine. All right. Now this one's called by Liz Arman, Feather's Goose. The table was all laid for dinner. The Christmas pudding steamed gently away. The roti and broccoli were done to a turn, when Joe heard his dear wife say, "Go off to the bakehouse now, Feather. Our goose must be ready to eat. I reckon our Christmas dinner will be the best in all of the street." With ceremony that Christmas morning, the goose was placed in the baker's care, with many injunctions to tend it as well as if the crown jewels was there. Resplendent on a nest of tatas, as full of stuffing as it could be. Mary's joy in providing this wonderful treat was plain for all to see. So Joe set off on his errand, with a clean white cloth all neat, with strict instructions not to galley all day, with friends who he'd seen in the street. But the door of the Red Lion stood open, from whence issued sounds of good cheer. Thought Joe, I don't suppose Mary would mind if I went in and had one beer. With one pint led to another, and time slipped merrily away. The shenanigans slipped easy down his throat until he heard someone say, "Aren't you supposed to be fetching your dinner? I don't know what your Mary will say. If you don't hurry up and get back home, come Joe, be on your way." Then lurching out of the bakehouse, with cloth-covered goose in his hand, a sight met his eyes with that delighted his heart, a sweet carolining band. 'Twas the primitive Methodist choir, voices raised in the first Noel, and Joe, who was blessed with a fine tenor voice, decided to join in as well. Now Lizzie, sent in long by mother to see if her dad could be found, spied her drunken fatherly singing the dinner at rest on the ground. The little maid, quick as lightning, thought of what mother would wish, dashed in unobserved by her father, picked up and ran home with a dish. Now hark the glad reached its conclusion with a sonorous ringing tone. Then Joseph bent down for his dinner, but found that the bird had flown. With the shock he was instantly sober, his eyes near popped out of his head. He thought of his wife and his family, waiting at home unfed. Up and down the streets of Newland he searched for that dastardly thief, but no sign of that goose and roast tatas. His heart felt like bursting with grief. Laden foot he now turned homeward, afraid of what Mary might say. When she leant through his drunken behaviour, there'd be no Christmas dinner that day. Slowly he reached his cottage, took a breath and threw open the door, saw the remains of the goose on the table, and children at play on the floor. "Sit down, not a word now," said Mary. "Believe this, my son, if you can. Thanks to Lizzie, we've all had our dinner, but for you, Joe, there's nothing, my man." Tongue pie was his portion that Christmas, tongue pie without stuffing his lot. Abused and berated for hours on end, made it a Christmas he'll never forgot. Ever after, judiciously sober, his way to the bakehouse he'd make. The path straight and narrow he'd carefully walk, his feet no detour would take. But if he ever passed the Red Lion and let his thoughts play fast and loose, his diligent escort would give him a poke and say, "Don't forget, Dad, when you lost the goose." Thank you very much.